This video is a film study look at Ernest Jones IV, who had 8 tackles, 2 passes defensed, an interception, a TFL in the Seahawks 17-13 loss to the San Francisco 49ers. This is about as complete a variety of plays that you can put on film from an inside linebacker standpoint in one game. No, it's not 16 tackles. No, there's not 2 sacks. But just from the perspective of Jones playing downhill against the run, exquisite run fits that hopefully I can do justice with the way that I describe and talk about them, as well as the interception, extremely high level awareness from a route configuration standpoint, utilizing his eyes, his head on a swivel to identify a route from the other side of the field and drift back into the middle of the field between the hashes to get the interception. A great pick. Seattle's defense, I thought, played with a lot of passion. There's a lot of tools there on the defensive side for Mike McDonald and Aiden Durde to use. They were unable to get the win against San Francisco in Week 1. I think they're headed in the right direction. I'm a huge fan, obviously, of Ernest Jones IV, as well as many other guys on that Seattle defense. If you don't know who I am, I'm a Ravens content creator, Ravens fan, and a defensive coordinator at heart. I'm a defensive guy in terms of the way that I see the game. And Ernest Jones IV, just watching him play against the 49ers, appeals to the way that I think the game should be played from the inside linebacker position. Let's get the film started here. We'll generally have Ernest Jones IV spot shadowed in yellow at the beginning of each play. So 1st and 10 on the first possession for the 49ers. Ball is on the right hash with the wide side to the bottom side of our screen. Play action, quick response by Jones. The one thing I noticed in this game, he's staying very square. Everything is oriented where his shoulders are pointed towards the sideline. So like his left shoulder pointed towards that sideline, right shoulder pointed towards that sideline. At times, do you want to get open your hips some in pass drops? Sure. In this case, Brock Purdy appears to be looking in the middle of the field. My suspicion is that he's looking at this tight end route, possibly breaking towards the top side of our screen, the right-hand side of the offense. As it stands, Purdy kind of delivers this weird jumping throw to the running back. Maybe that's what makes it off target. It's definitely an opportunity for Jones to get an interception early in the game. Unfortunately, it only goes down as one of his 2 passes defensed. He's very balanced in this game. Quick, sure-handed on the interception that I'll show later, but very hostile on arrival against the run. And that's the thing that's fun for me to watch. He's going to be unblocked on this play. He definitely has an idea of what San Francisco wants to do at times in terms of directional, where their play is going to go. I got him pointing the direction out like 4 or 5 times in this game, and he's right more often than not. You can see here he's definitely pointing at us, essentially, to the bottom side of our screen, the right-hand side of Seattle's defense. And sure enough, the right guard's going to pull and kick out. It's a trap concept. He fits it perfectly, in my opinion, off the backside. So what I mean is, where he is here, when McCaffrey brings this back, essentially cuts it back against the grain of the blocking scheme, you do have the tackle, the left tackle, working to him. So Jones has got to frame that guy up with his right hand and basically deal with him, prevent the tackle from washing him down. I'll give the end zone angle for pretty much as many of these plays as I possibly can. Our right-hand side, he must have seen something in the center's, feet, hands, or whatever, his upper body alignment, because the right guard is going to pull. I misspoke a moment ago and said the center. I meant the right guard. And he's got IDs on it before it even happens. He sees that it's going to occur, pointing like you see. And then one thing to mention here is, they're trapping Leonard Williams. It's an influence trap, though. So what I mean when I say influence trap is faking the down block with 71, and he's going to actually work up to Jones. This left guard is going to step to the outside. Influence trap. That is trying to hold Leonard Williams and widen him up such that the actual kick-out block from the right guard, 77, Pooney, can widen him up some. And you can see it is mission accomplished here. But I think it's Lawrence who really folds in and makes a great play here. I thought Lawrence looked athletic. I'm not prepared to evaluate his film in full and give you a description, in my opinion. Nonetheless, this is a first possession, and where San Francisco finishes with a touchdown. I think it's Kittles beats Okada for a touchdown on a 3rd down. To focus again on Jones here, only going to give you the end zone angle of this one. It is a 6-yard gain. This is on the third possession. We've skipped forward here. It'll end up being the second stop in a row for Seattle's defense. Now, Byron Murphy does get pushed back into the linebacker's lap because of the double team. He starts to anchor down with his inside knee and then tries to pop back up, and that's when there's a little bit more movement vertically than you would like. I just love the stab here of Jones. All these take-ons that he provides in this game, it's teaching tape, in my opinion, in terms of how to take on blockers, how to punch, how to use your leverage, use your knees, and great bend in your knees to stand this offensive lineman up. Like I said, it goes down as a 6-yard gain. Reed is on the outside in functionally what ends up being C-gap. Murphy got kind of punched back a little bit. This upending of the tackle with low hands, shooting up high, basically lifts him up a little bit, allows Jones to shed quickly. 6-yard gain, still, he's very sharp, decisive. I thought his hand strikes, his ability to try to get off blocks was very distinct, and he was sure of his calls. I think the game prep for Jones and the Seahawks defense must have been exquisite. When you talk about decisive, this is a perfect example of it. Now, this is a 3rd and 1 on the 4th possession. Seattle's up 10-7. I think it's a missed field goal 2 or 3 plays later. But McCaffrey gets the first down here, okay? I just love the fit. Watch how he disappears. I mean, the right guard has stepped to Jones. That is Jones's body. That's the frame of his body behind the right guard stepping down. And he literally just disappears under the guy. It looks right here on the pause like, hey, this is going to be a great setup for the 49ers. Nope. He fits through, slams into McCaffrey. Lawrence is there once again. I don't know what Seattle fans said about Lawrence in this first showing. To me, I thought he brought an added flavor, a hybrid, D-end, D-tackle guy at times. Not really a D-tackle, but an edge defender, quintessential more of a D-end than an outside linebacker. I do like the finish here. I do like that attitude that Lawrence brings. Maybe you're going to get some penalties for that. Jones thought he's got to stop here. You can see he's celebrating. He's at the forefront of, I think, some beautiful play defensively by Seattle's guys throughout pretty much the whole game. Same play from the end zone angle. I love his depth here on the 3rd and 1. So he recognizes that he can't be too far off the line. Watch him crash. He can't be too deep at his typical depth. Watch him crash underneath of the right tackle, and then get to the football in a way, along with Lawrence, that it was close. It was arguable. Seattle, you can understand why those guys thought they had to stop. I think this is a great job of staying square. Again, utilizing his body. Watch him reduce surface contact area by turning and getting low. Right, he doesn't stay square there. He's turning to get skinny into the hole, into the lane. So 68 can't punch him out of there. It's a beautiful fit. I love football like this. I'm going to be honest with you. This one took me a long time to produce. Like I said, McCaffrey got it there. He paid for it, though. He paid for it, to get the first down. I do like another element of this to talk about. I know I've kind of belabored the point. This is Williams on Williams. Talked about this in one of my previews. And you certainly get some vertical displacement by Leonard Williams against Trent Williams. Not saying he dominated every snap on the day, but one that reflects, pretty well on him here, able to stand up Trent Williams and drive him back a little bit. Like I said, McCaffrey was able to pick it up there. I believe they missed the field goal in that possession, but I could be wrong. Think about this. The guy who just made that play, or they didn't get a stop. It was a tackle. Involved in the play along with Lawrence is going to make one of the best interceptions that I saw from last week. The concept here is kind of cool from San Francisco. Vertical by 3, the tight end. An in-cut dig, if you will, by number 1, or what was the number 1 before the motion by 44. I can't really draw this as wide as the route actually occurs. It's a dummy route out there by 44. He's just basically drawing or holding the corner to the top side. So Woolen is occupied by that route, even though it is of no threat to him, right? But it is basically a subtraction. From a Jones standpoint, I love the awareness to look. You kind of see it here. Just looked a moment ago. I'll pull it back a little bit and let you check it out. So he's taking his drop, opening his hips. Now Purdy, when he goes to throw this football, gets hit just afterwards by 42, Thomas, who's given great effort here. This is 42, kind of runs over around the running back, if you will, and then Purdy throws the ball to this route here. The number 2 started off as the number 1, the widest receiver. I love the eyes that Jones is playing with here. It almost makes me wonder if he knows the route and he's intentionally sitting for another half step so the ball is thrown. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit there. I love this play for him because, well, he's always been spectacular against the run, and he gets a lot of credit for that, rightfully so. To see him get this pick and add that to his statistical ledger, we know that Defensive Player of the Week, All-Pro stuff, Pro Bowl, a lot of it is predicated on stats. I think the play that consistent play, impactful, that Ernest Jones IV turned in against the 49ers despite the loss was about as good as you're going to see from an inside linebacker all season. Great depth on this pass drop, staying square, his movement, his hips, being able to fluidly get back to a spot, square up, awareness, ID the route, the in cut, the deeper in cut, I think it's Jennings, and then a leaping interception. That's a 10 out of 10 play for me on a scale of 10. Just ridiculous, if you ask me. There's Jones, vertical by this tight end, okay, up the seam. The in cut is Jennings coming in off the right side. He's off screen for us right now. And then the fullback in motion is going to run up the sideline to basically occupy Reek Woolen. So here is Purdy's eyes, definitely looking to his right. And that might be what helps or encourages or influences Jones to kind of reorient back to that side. So as I had spot shadowed it there, look at his body orientation. He's opened up this way, and then his eyes are on Purdy. But watch, once I let this play, he immediately gets back his eyes back to the other side. And what I think's happening there is, he's just seeing Purdy look to that side. So now he's reorienting to that side totally in terms of his attention. I mean, when I say he, I mean Jones. Not able to get everything into the throw from a Purdy perspective. Jones goes up and gets it. An amazing play. These are the types of plays that I'm glad when inside linebackers make these plays because, first of all, it's shocking how incredible this is for him to do this after the previous snap that I showed you, the 3rd and 1 that McCaffrey's able to pick up when Lawrence slams him. But for inside linebackers who don't get the opportunity for all of the sacks and all of the interceptions that so many other guys do, whether they play on the back end in the secondary or the front end on the defensive line, it just adds more weight to their case at the end of the season for all Pro Bowl status or even Defensive Player of the Week. I do want to mention that I think it's Lawrence here. It's Hall, excuse me. Hall holds up Purdy at the end of the play, like at the end of the throw. He literally kind of holds him up, it looks like to me, such that Seattle doesn't draw a penalty. Moving forward here, 6th possession. Not over from a Jones standpoint in terms of the brilliance that he provided in this game. It's a somewhat unique power scheme. So power typically involves a fullback in the backfield, a pulling guard to wrap to the backside inside linebacker, the fullback to kick out, and then the tailback to get the ball kind of underneath of or between those two, acting as a tunnel or a funnel. In this case, the fullback 44 is motioning back into the backfield, and then he's going to come back down to this side of our screen, the right-hand side of Seahawks defense, and try to kick out Hall. The backside tight end is going to wrap and functionally be the backside guard. And the fit from Jones it's perfect. There is a combo occurring with the guard and the center, but I don't think they're going to get to Jones anyway. So really, to me, it's the backside tight end who's trying to get to him, but there's just nobody there. When the frontside guy, Knight, plays it back to him, meaning when the frontside guy keeps his outside arm free, he's setting the ball back inside, and when you get the end zone angle, you'll see what I'm talking about. Square fit for Jones, just completely perfect alignment, if you ask me. Head on the running back. That's the way you draw it up. For real. And the cool thing is he's not just in his gap. He's not just hostile upon arrival. He's there at the right time. And that's important. That's one thing that you can kind of look at certain inside linebackers across the league and separates them. In my opinion, Jones is one of them. He doesn't just arrive in the right gap, He arrives there at the correct time. So check him out bouncing for a moment with the motion. And then now he identifies it. He sees all the offensive linemen working this way. And then I don't know if he's picked up the backside tight end wrapping or not, but I do know that he corrects his fit. After initially flowing to our right, his left, he's now pulled this and going to go back over the top to fit on Robinson. It's a huge hit, man. Huge hit. On time, in the right gap. I think he's a leader of this defense that has so much talent. Witherspoon, Leonard Williams, Reek Woolen, Julian Love. I like watching film of Ernest Jones IV because from an inside linebacker standpoint, he's capable of doing pretty much anything. The very next play is a little bit unfortunate from an Ernest Jones standpoint in that if he was to get a PD on this or maybe an interception on this 4th and 2, definitely talking about Defensive Player of the Week. Strong candidacy for that. So it's after the previous play that I showed you where he took on Brian Robinson downhill on the 3rd and 2. Seahawks are still ahead 10-7 in the 3rd quarter. Here's the route combination. Running back going to release out into the flats. That's designed to hold the nickel defender, which is Devin Witherspoon. The number 1 receiver, Jennings, is pulling Woolen with him in coverage. So they've really isolated, if you ask me, Ernest Jones IV against this tight end. That's the route that I think Purdy may have wanted. My guess is the reason why he's not throwing it is because you've got an underneath defender and an over-the-top defender. In any case, he goes down here against Jones versus the tight end. Huge hit by Witherspoon. I will say this. Witherspoon's celebrating the hit, didn't make a stop. It seems like Jones is more disappointed that they couldn't get off the field. This is the possession, by the way, where Love blocks the field goal. I'll do a separate video on that one. I think it's worthy of it, the way that they were able to pull that off. Finally, from the 7th possession, it's a 10-10 tie. Not only is Jones athletic enough to get great pass drops like I showed you on the interception, he also had a PD on the first play of this video and fits against the run well. He's unique. He's got a unique set of skills. The combination is rare, even at the NFL level. What I mean is you're getting direct run flow to the bottom side of our screen. The Seahawks defense is left. But his fit, he's going to jump back against the green and then converge. It's a 5-1 look by Seattle. So Jones is the lone inside linebacker playing at depth, if you will. You can see the lead to the bottom side of our screen. Try to track Jones if you can. His first step is to his left, downside of our screen, and then he'll jump back to that side, obviously against the flow of the fullback and the tailback, McCaffrey. And lo and behold, it works out perfectly. He stings McCaffrey on the backside, trying to cut this back. I think Leonard Williams is extremely disruptive. The path that Jones took to the football is just rare. I understand it, probably to a 50% in totality compared to what these guys know. It's probably 10%. But I'm not sure that I could teach it, to be honest with you. I never felt comfortable teaching it in this way. From the 5-1 look, here is Leonard Williams, really going to disrupt things, I think, against the right guard. End up square with the right guard, he being Williams. Jones goes underneath. My guess is he just sees 64 jump through and goes underneath. Probably because he knows he's got Witherspoon to the play side to possibly be a hitter on the front end, direct flow against the fullback. I think that this is about as good a game that I've seen someone play at inside linebacker position this week. I try to watch inside linebacker film as much as I can so I can learn, to be honest with you. But to enjoy it specifically of, the Ravens, Lions, and Seahawks. And to me, this is the best film that I've seen this week. Some of the best film that I've seen from a one-game data point. There's so many players on the defense I want to do videos of this week despite the loss. Leonard Williams, Julian Love, two of my favorite players to watch film of. I thought the defense played with incredible passion. They were cohesive. They worked together. To me, Jones is a large piece of the puzzle. This is probably close to a defensive player of the week type effort and efficiency in terms of where he's supposed to be. In that if you watch the film and evaluate the wide variety of concepts that he was there to disrupt, it's truly amazing. The 4th and 2 completion to the tight end, if, a pass defense there would have thrown it off, meaning it would have really put him or elevated him in any type of discussion like that. It didn't hurt the Seahawks because, like I said, Love blocked the field goal and made it a 10-10 tie at that point. Jones, for me, is someone that if he plays at this level and you get the typical Leonard Williams performance and Lawrence showing up and being disruptive like he was in week 1, then the defensive plan becomes, more clear for the entirety of the group in the season. There's other guys and other situations I'd like to talk about from this game defensively. Certainly going to put out a video on Tuesday of the blocked field goal by Love. This one took me a while to produce. I hope you enjoyed it. Significant amount of content to get to, number one. Number two, my production value has taken a little bit longer with all the annotations and some of the spot shadows to set up. So if you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comment section. Consider liking and commenting to help the video get more reach or more traction. And then finally, if you would like to see this video exposed to more audiences, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media so other Seahawks fans can enjoy it as well.